My name is Virginia Ginny Hargrove. I'm 86 years old, and last month I quietly transferred $10 million to a women's reproductive health foundation that, among many other services, helps low-income women make the medical choices that are right for them. The check was signed the same week my granddaughter Ashley forced my 17-year-old great-granddaughter Lily to end a pregnancy before it ruined the family name. People in Mobile, Alabama still think I'm just the sweet old widow who grows prize camellias and bakes chess pies for the church auction. They have no idea that those same camellias now bloom over the biggest family scandal since the War of Northern Aggression. Let me take you back so you understand why an old Episcopalian lady who still says grace before every meal would do something this loud. I was married to Judge William Hargrove for 55 years. He left me comfortable, very comfortable, when he passed in 2019. 2 children, 5 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, and the big Greek revival house on Government Street that's been in my family since 1853. Our oldest son, William Jr., died a long time ago. His daughter, Ashley, 42, married to a plastic surgeon, president of the Junior League, has always been the family's self-appointed guardian of standards. Ashley decides who gets invited to Thanksgiving, who sits at the head table at weddings, and apparently, who is allowed to become a mother. Lily is Ashley's younger sister's daughter, my great-granddaughter. Sweet, quiet, straight-A student, plays flute in the youth orchestra. Last spring, at 17, Lily discovered she was 8 weeks pregnant. The father was a nice boy from the public school, scholarship kid, band nerd, no trust fund. Lily wanted to keep the baby. Ashley did not. According to Lily, who showed up on my porch in tears one May afternoon, Ashley scheduled the appointment herself, drove Lily to the clinic in Pensacola, and sat in the waiting room, scrolling Instagram while her niece cried in a paper gown. Ashley's exact words when Lily begged to change her mind: "We do not have unwed teenage mothers in this family. Think of the shame at the club." Lily came straight to me afterward, shaking, still bleeding a little. Clutching a brown paper bag with discharge papers, I wrapped her in Grandmama's quilt, made her cinnamon toast, and listened while she sobbed out the whole story. That night, I sat up until dawn in the sunroom with a yellow legal pad and a lifetime of quiet fury. I have always believed a woman's body is her own sacred ground. I also believe in consequences, so I called my attorney, Miss Letitia Beaumont, yes, the same one from the last story, and said, "Letitia, I want to set up a restricted charitable remainder trust, $10 million, irrevocable, payable immediately to the Gulf Coast Women's Health Alliance. Specific purpose, comprehensive reproductive care, including, but not limited to, pregnancy options counseling and safe, legal medical procedures for women of any age and income level." Letitia didn't blink. "Message received, Miss Ginny, loud and clear." We signed the papers the next week. I didn't tell a soul. Not yet. I waited for the moment that would hurt the most. Ashley's annual Hargrove Women's Charity Gala was scheduled for the first Saturday in November at the Battle House Renaissance Hotel in downtown Mobile. Black tie, silent auction, string quartet, the whole dog and pony show. Proceeds were supposed to go to the Children's Hospital wing that already carried the Hargrove name. Thanks to previous donations, everyone assumed would keep flowing. Ashley had spent months planning it. She had already ordered the marble plaque that would read, "The William and Virginia Hargrove Pediatric Pavilion, generously funded by Ashley Hargrove Langford and family." She had even sent me the seating chart. I was at the head table, of course, right beside the mayor and the bishop. I RSVP'd yes and asked if I could say a few words after dinner. Ashley wrote back, "Of course, grandmother. Everyone would love to hear from you." She had no idea. The week before the gala, I invited Lily to spend the weekend with me. We baked chess pies together, planted winter camellias, and I told her what I had done with the $10 million. She cried, happy tears this time, and asked if she could come to the gala. I said, "Sugar, you're going to have the best seat in the house." The night of the gala, the ballroom was dripping in white roses and candlelight. 500 of Mobile's finest turned out in diamonds and tuxedos. Ashley floated around in a gold gown, like she was already wearing the crown. Dinner was served: crab cakes, filet, asparagus with hollandaise. Speeches were made about the Hargrove legacy of generosity. Ashley kept glancing at me with that practiced smile that never reached her eyes. At 9:15, the MC introduced me as the matriarch whose quiet philanthropy has touched countless lives. I walked to the podium on Lily's arm. She wore a simple navy dress and looked like an angel. The room gave me a standing ovation before I even opened my mouth. I waited until they sat down. Then I began. I rested both hands on the podium, looked straight at Ashley, and began. Thank you, Mobile, for 50 years of kindness to the Hargrove family. Tonight, I have one final gift to announce, one I've been praying about for months. A polite murmur of anticipation. Many of you know my great-granddaughter Lily. I turned and motioned Lily to stand beside me. She did, chin high, eyes shining. Lily is 17, honor roll, first chair flute, and the bravest soul I know. Applause. This spring, Lily faced one of the hardest choices a young woman can face. She wanted to become a mother. Certain members of this family decided that choice was inconvenient to our reputation. You could have heard ice melt. I disagree. A woman's body is not a family asset to be managed. It is holy ground. A few gasps, a few amens from the back. So instead of funding another marble plaque with our name on it, I have redirected $10 million, irrevocably and immediately, to the Gulf Coast Women's Health Alliance. The screen behind me lit up with the foundation's logo and the words, the Virginia Hargrove Fund for Reproductive Autonomy, supporting every woman's right to choose her own path, without shame or coercion. These dollars will provide medical care, counseling, transportation, childcare, and legal support to any woman or girl who needs it, regardless of age, income, or last name. I paused and looked straight at Ashley. Her face had gone the color of spoiled oysters. Some of you may wonder why I would do this. Simple. Because no 17-year-old in my bloodline will ever again be driven across state lines in tears because her pregnancy was embarrassing. Because no woman in this city will ever have to choose between food on the table and the medical care she deserves. And because love sometimes looks like letting go of the need to control everyone else's story. The room was silent for 3 full heartbeats. Then the bishop stood first. Then the mayor. Then the entire back half of the ballroom rose in a wave until every single person was on their feet applauding, some crying openly. Ashley sat frozen, gold gown suddenly looking cheap. I raised my glass of sweet tea. To Lily, to every woman who has ever had to fight for her own body, and to the future we should have built a long time ago. The applause turned into cheers. I stepped away from the microphone, took Lily's hand, and walked off the stage while the string quartet, bless their hearts, struck up Sweet Home Alabama in 3/4 time. Ashley tried to follow us out the side door, hissing, "Grandmother, we need to talk." I turned, calm as Sunday. "No, darling, we're finished talking. You taught Lily that family reputation is worth more than family. I just taught her the opposite." We left her standing in a puddle of gold sequins and stunned silence. We drove home that night with the windows down and Aretha Franklin on the radio, Lily singing Respect at the top of her lungs while I tapped the steering wheel like I was 20 again. The next morning, the Mobile Register front page read, Hargrove Matriarch Gifts $10 million to Women's Health in Dramatic Gala Rebuke. Reputation is not inherited, character is, says 86-year-old philanthropist. By noon, my phone was melted from messages. Some were ugly. Some were beautiful. All of them were loud. Ashley arrived at the house at 2:17 p.m. in yoga pants, and no one believed she'd ever sweated in, eyes swollen, voice shaking. "Grandmother, do you have any idea what you've done? The club, the hospital board, my children's college applications." I offered her a glass of tea. She didn't take it. "You've ruined us." I sat down in Granddaddy's rocker and looked at her the way I used to look at beauty pageant judges who asked dumb questions. "Ashley Sugar, the only thing ruined is the idea that this family gets to police women's bodies for the sake of a country club membership. That idea died last night, and I'm not mourning it." She tried tears. She tried threats. She tried bargaining. "We can spin this. Say it was always the plan." I just rocked and sipped my tea. When she finally ran out of words, Lily walked in from the kitchen, carrying a tray of chess pie. She set a slice in front of Ashley without a word, then took her place beside my chair. Ashley stared at the pie like it might bite her, then left without touching it. She hasn't been back since. The foundation wasted no time. Within 30 days, the Virginia Hargrove Fund had opened 2 new clinics in Mobile and Biloxi, hired counselors fluent in Spanish and Vietnamese, and started a transportation service so no girl ever has to ask her family for a ride again. Lily moved in with me permanently. She finishes high school online, volunteers at the clinic 2 days a week, and is saving for college on a full scholarship the foundation created in her name. Every spring, the camellias still bloom red and white along the front walk, but now there's a new brass plaque by the gate. Hargrove House, home of Virginia Hargrove and Lily Rose Hargrove, dedicated to every woman who ever had to choose for herself. People stop to read it and take pictures. Sometimes they leave flowers. I still bake chess pies for the church auction. I still say grace before every meal. And every night, I sit on the porch with Lily, watching fireflies blink over the yard, where 5 generations of Hargrove women learned to walk. Ashley's name no longer appears on the hospital wing. The marble plaque came down last month. Rumor has it the country club is thinking of dropping the no unwed mothers bylaw, just in case. Some choices echo louder than money ever could. If you're ever in Mobile on a Saturday evening, come by Government Street. The porch light's always on, the tea's always sweet. And there's always room for one more woman who needs to hear she's enough exactly as she is. Because some inheritances aren't measured in dollars. They're measured in the freedom you give the women who come after you. And that sugar is worth every penny I never